Chief Secondus, Your Excellency, the Deputy President of the Senate, Senator K. Kirimadu, Principal Officers and my colleagues of the Senate and House of Representatives, Speakers of the House of Assembly here present, PDP youth leaders and other members of the National Working Committee, the conveners of YAGA and Not Too Young to Run group, stakeholders, youth, invited guests, members of the press, ladies and gentlemen. Let me say once again how wonderful it is to see so many talented and purposeful youth, young people at this first edition of the public dialogue series with political parties on youth candidacy and party primaries. Looking at you, I see future leaders who present themselves as capable, worthy to take on the mantle of leadership in this country, and this gladdens my heart. From my interaction with many of you and with your contemporaries across the country, I can see that we're blessed with a determined generation that stands ready to join us to power the Nigerian Renaissance. The quality of people I see here today affirms my belief that indeed you are not too young to run. I deeply appreciate this opportunity to share some of my ideas about where we are as a nation, as well as the challenges before us as we approach the great decider that is the 2019 general elections. But before I do that, let me join others to thank the organizers for this dialogue. Let me also thank the leadership of PDP, our party, for being the first party to collaborate in this kind of dialogue with the youth. That clearly shows and signifies that PDP is a party for the youth. Let me also commend the comments of the chairman and the youth leader in reassuring the youth here that there will be a level playing field and that they will ensure that they can fully participate in the process of the congresses before us. Mr. Chairman, youth leader, and other members of leadership, let us ensure that we make this possible and we truly provide a platform for the youth so that they can really see PDP as their party. For the teeming youth who are looking at different aspirations, as my Deputy Senate President said, and also the youth leader, some of you will be successful at the elections. Some of you might not be. But I don't want you to look down sometimes at the issue of appointments. There are many examples of people that started their political careers young as political appointees and made their way right up to elective offices. I use mine as a very good example. In 1999, after President Obasanjo was elected, I was then promised I was going to become a minister before the election. By the time the election came back and the big weights came in, they pushed us to the back. I went back to my work, went back into banking. President Obasanjo called me and said, I should come and become special assistant. I said, special assistant what, sir? I was a young man who felt I was running an organization with over 2,000 people. So I was engaging him. He said, special assistant, special duties. I said, sir, what does that exactly mean? Those that know Obasanjo, I first got a smack on the back. He said, you just be following me anywhere I go. So, of course, young man, a lot of arrogance. I said, no, I can't do that. I'm in Lagos, I'm running I can't do that. And I will never forget an old political associate of my dad, Professor Ogunshola, who called me. He said, young man, go there. They say you should carry the book, carry the book. Carry the file, carry the file. It took me 1 year to accept the position. And I finally joined President Obasanjo, Special Assistant special duties. For the first 1 week, I cannot tell you the things I was doing. But by the time I showed my capacity, my portfolio changed to special assistant budget. By the time I showed my capacity, I became the first and only special assistant that could attend council meeting. Within a short period of time, I was the one liaising between President Obasanjo and the National Assembly. Today, when we talk about public procurement bill, that was what I sponsored in my experience. So what I learned in that period gave me the foundation today, from then on, to become governor and so on. So I want to say to a lot of the young people, in my state, 50% of all members of the state assembly, I'm sure at one time were a special assistant to me at one point. In the House of Representatives today, I'm sure 50% of them passed through at one point as special assistants. So I want to encourage you that the participation is not only at elective positions, but also anywhere in government. We must participate to do that. As I said, I am deeply appreciative of this opportunity to share my views on the nation where we are today. It is widely acknowledged that our country, is a relatively young country, bursting with tremendous energy, ability, and potential. More than 70% of our population is under the age of 40. You are indeed the future of this country. Ordinarily, such a young population would be the envy of many Western countries that are faced with aging population. But the dire state of our affairs tarnishes the youthful advantage that we have. Up and down our country today, Nigerians are crying out for succor. Many of our children are hungry. Many people are dying of avoidable or otherwise treatable diseases. Many have fallen below basic living standards and are now among the 87 million that seal Nigeria's position as a country with the highest number of people in extreme poverty. Our young people lack opportunities, the necessary education, facilities, and system to equip them for the future simply is not there. We are not creating the jobs needed to usefully engage them in order to grow our economy. And too often, the youth feel shut out, prevented from having any say in the direction of this nation. The harsh conditions of extreme poverty faced by the people fuels the state of insecurity all over the country. Hunger, lack of education, lack of opportunities push many Nigerians into criminal activities. Many of our communities are paralyzed with fear due to incessant communal crises, kidnappings, and other social ills. We are failing abysmally to tackle the problems of today and prepare for the future. Our economy is broken and is in need of urgent revival in order for Nigeria to grow. GDP growth rate has declined in this quarter. Diversification remains an illusion. Unemployment is at its all-time high. Businesses are shutting down. Jobs are being lost in record numbers. And the capital needed to jumpstart the economy is going elsewhere. Nigeria is perhaps more divided now than ever before. We are increasingly divided along regional, religious, and ethnic lines. Nigerians are also divided by class. A first-string gulf between haves and have-nots. The fault lines of this nation are widening and alarming. We must do something fast, and we must be brave about it. We must ensure that the security of lives in Nigeria. As things stand now, no one is safe in this country. No one feels truly safe. We must restore the sanctity of the rule of law and strengthen democratic institutions in order to build a just, fair, and equitable society for all. We must rebuild the trust of our people in government. We need a new generation of leaders that are competent and with the capability to rise to the challenges of the 21st century. We must pull this country back together and rebuild block by block with dedication and commitment. You will agree with me that this is an urgent task that requires the concerted efforts of each and every one of us. If we look around today, what do we see? What is the condition of our citizens? Where are we as a nation? How are we perceived locally and internationally? Why are we not making the expected progress? Why are we not growing? There's no time to waste. The time is now to come together to stimulate growth in Nigeria, especially in the national economy. The choice we face in the forthcoming election is either to keep things as they are or make a radical departure from the old ways. To find a better way of doing things or keep repeating the mistakes of the past. To fix the problems or keep compounding the problems. It is with all this in mind and taking account of the challenges that I have outlined, I have decided to answer the call of teeming youth, who have asked me to run for president. Accordingly, I hereby announce my intention to run for the office of the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria in the coming elections in 2019 on the platform of the People's Democratic Party. I do this with a firm conviction that I have what it takes to secure inclusive growth for Nigeria and Nigerians. My distinguished guests, my plan for Nigeria has inclusion in all aspects of country's affairs as a central pillar. Every citizen has the inalienable right to feel a sense of belonging, no matter his background, creed, or what type of the country he comes from. Your generation does not deserve to live in this poverty capital of the world. It is no longer an issue of how we got here. How we got here is no longer the issue. The issue is how do we get out of this situation? I promise you that I will lead the fight and employ every God-given human resource available in turning things around. I am determined to grow Nigeria out of poverty. We will stimulate the growth of SMEs, energize the economy, and create wealth for the youth. I want to see the youth play a major role in all our levels, not only in government, but also in the private sector and every life of Nigeria. There will be a government driven by youthful energy, innovation, and a pioneering entrepreneurial spirit. Nigeria youth will be given all the opportunities to realize their potential full within the national framework that guarantees inclusiveness. For youth, you have ideas, you have capacity, you can do many. We will make sure that there is the opportunity for you to achieve this, your potential. We will secure this country and we will redesign our national security architecture so that everybody is safe once again. My plan is to protect all Nigerians and defend their constitutional right and freedom. I will stand for uphold this principle of the rule of law, which is the bedrock of democratic governance. Ours will not be a selective fight against corruption. No. The emphasis will be on strengthening institutions with a particular focus on deterrence. We cannot afford to compromise our institutions with proxy wars against perceived political opponents. I offer leadership driven by empathy, where leaders are responsive to the citizens, where they know that government cares. We will not be indifferent or turn a blind eye to the real concerns of our people. Every single Nigerian life matters. For me, the leadership we deserve in this country is the one that will be a source of pride to all Nigerians, one that will be respected and admired in Africa and around the world. It should be a leadership that can hold its own and stand anywhere in the world. This is the type of leadership I will offer. As a former two-term governor, current president of the Senate, by the grace of God and the grace of my colleagues, I believe I possess the unique blend of executive and legislative experience to push for and implement reforms that would deliver real improvements to daily lives of our people. I know what it takes to create jobs and grow the economy. I can make tough decisions when it matters. I will spearhead a new agenda that can transform the lives of ordinary Nigerians to real terms. Believe me when I say that it will not be business as usual. This will be a dynamic government of action that will pursue the growth of Nigeria with doggedness, determination, and conviction. We will lead a result-driven administration where we'll set ourselves targets, clear timelines to ensure deliverables are met. We will be driven by what is best for Nigerians. I have deliberately chosen this opportunity of being here with you, what I'll call my own, my number one constituency, who I see as the future of our great country, to make my intention known. I believe the Nigerian youth are critical to rebuilding and growing the economy and restoring a national pride. I therefore ask you, and all well-meaning Nigerians, join hands with me in this noble cause. My brothers, my sisters, let's grow Nigeria together. God bless you. God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Thank you.